The Cincinnati Privy disaster of 1904. September 23, 1904, Pleasant Ridge School, located in Cincinnati, Ohio, is where the dreaded Cincinnati Privy disaster took place. Many believed it to be just an ordinary warm Friday. However, the weather, like it often is, was unpredictable. The clouds began to darken. The wind started to get stronger. Rain was brewing for that Friday morning. The principal at the time, Thomas L. Zimmerman, witnessed a change in the weather. However, believing that the rain wouldn't be that heavy, the children lined up in the halls for their routine morning recess. Approximately around 10:15 a.m., he rang the recess bell. So the kids ran outside, the boys played baseball, and the girls scattered around the playground. The kids were out for only a few minutes and the wind immediately picked up. The rain quickly followed. At first it was light, so the boys just kept playing, while the girls huddled around together on the playground. About a minute later, to the shock of the principal and the students, a heavy downpour started. The boys and most of the girls ran for the school to get shelter from the storm. However, approximately 30 girls sought shelter at the outhouse near the playground. A brief overview of the outhouse. It was 11 years old and was repaired several times over the years. The most recent repair was a year prior to this incident. The school hired a carpenter to install new seats and replace the flooring. He assumed the building was good and failed to even inspect the old flooring. So he laid the new flooring over the old along with the new seats. So as the girls quickly took to shelter in the privy, many felt something wasn't right, and the floor felt weak. But before they could try and get out, the floor gave and immediately collapsed with them all inside. Approximately 30 girls fell below 8 feet to a pool of water around 4 feet in depth, which is a lot for such a tight space. The girls, some as young as 7, quickly began to fight for their lives. They all were screaming for help, trying to climb over each other to get out, struggling for survival in this horrible situation. The weaker girls sadly were pushed to the bottom to their deaths by the stronger girls fighting to escape. What saved more girls from this sad fate was a girl named Lorena Ferguson. She was headed towards the outhouse, but before she could make it inside, the floor gave way and she immediately ran to the school for help. She told Principal Zimmerman about what happened to the outhouse. Principal Zimmerman was unaware of the sheer magnitude of the situation, but immediately ran towards the outhouse. When he witnessed what had transpired, he almost collapsed in shock. All he could hear was the terrified screams for help. A few men and the pastor of the church across the street also heard the cries, so they quickly ran over to help the principal save the remaining girls. What really made the situation even worse was that the ladders were not long enough to help, and the ropes kept breaking as they were trying to save them. Finally, they got a ladder long enough to help them reach down and save the remaining victims. The surviving girls were unrecognizable from the sheer trauma they just went through. Principal Zimmerman and other rescuers sadly couldn't save all the girls. 9 didn't survive the tragic disaster, despite numerous attempts to revive them. News quickly spread across the town and parents rushed to the school to get their children, to comfort them and take them home. Overall, this was a shock to the entire community, and there was a lot of justified anger from the citizens and parents from the sheer negligence of the school. However, despite this, no charges were ever filed nor indictments issued. This isn't a well-known tragedy, but it definitely highlights that accidents and disasters can happen even when you least expect them.